Zen Ray here. Thank you for coming, Nick Nation, my band of brothers. Nick Nation, I very grateful for the thumbs up, your comments, watching and engaging on this platform. I am so grateful. Continue with your thumbs up, continue with your comments. Myself and Juby love to interact with you and continuing sharing and just subscribe to the channel. It's free. Nick Nation, our band of brothers. We're here to talk about updates of the Summer League and interesting free agency news as well. Juby is away on a little vacation, so he is kind enough to come and stop by and say hello out from the Jersey Shore. Juby, the Tubi family above everything. Welcome. I know you're out in Jersey, the Jersey Shore, doing your thing with the family. I appreciate you stopping by this lovely day, especially in NYC. Thank you, Juby. Any updating news that you've heard lately about some free agency and anything Summer League coming up tomorrow, 8 p.m.? Knicks are going to be in Las Vegas playing the Golden State Warriors. Any updates on your end since you're out in Jersey? Did you hear anything along the way?
Salute to you guys at Zenray Sports TV. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, man, I'm taking a little trip out with the family, but I wanted to come on here and share my little bit of knowledge with you guys, what we've been hearing. And I know you guys have been, listening to the media, social media and everything with Jericho Sims signing a 3-year deal. So it's official. He's going to be on our roster for the next 3 years. We locked him in. Great move. I think that was fantastic just to get it out the way. This way, there's no issues somewhere down the road. And Taj Gibson, a lot of teams are very interested in him
We'll talk
because his
about that.
contract
Sure.
is so friendly. We'll get to that in a second. And also Derrick Rose. Teams have been inquiring about Derrick Rose. What's his availability look like? And from what I've been hearing, management is pretty confident that he will not be on the team in the start of training camp. So you heard
Wow.
it here. So yeah. And also Donovan Mitchell went on record and said that he is not going to be demanding a trade, that he is okay where he's at. So all the
We'll talk
rumors
about
and
that.
all the craziness, just wanted to bring that out there.
Leon,
Let's move on for that, guys.
yes, Leon Rose is standing pat with the Young Guns. And before we go away for a couple of minutes, here's something on the Young Guns that the Knicks have on the team that's a treasure in disguise. So here are the Young Guns. So starting with Obi and quickly.
A couple of career highs. He's actually had.
We're gonna have a lot of fun now.
Deputized gang, Billy the Kid, huh?
Get 10 off the reset. Does he need a ball screen? I don't think so. McBride in his Gucci pants.
There he goes.
Got it. McBride shaking his head. Oh,
The
tell
Young
everybody
Gun.
who wants to listen, you don't want any
It's
of
one of the
this.
reasons why Derrick Rose may be on the move.
Dead.
You can go to hell.
Gibson force them to stay out on the perimeter.
That's what Leon Rose said to Danny Ainge.
Gives it up. McBride knocks it
There you go,
down
Sims to
from the
McBride.
I'll make you famous.
That's right, we'll make you famous.
Barrett, good shovel.
There you go.
And Sims flushes it down.
The Young Guns in NYC, the New York Knicks. Zenray back with Juby, the Tubi, who is on a little vacation, and I'm so pleased and happy to have him. He's out with the family in the Jersey Shore, so he's spending a few minutes of his time, and we greatly appreciate you, Juby. And so we're talking about Derrick Rose, and we're talking about a lot of other things that are happening. Uh, it's very interesting to know that the Knicks are moving with or without.
I think they're listening and taking calls for Derrick Rose. I think they know they have a lot of players that are taking up a lot of roster spots, and they want to play the young kids and players like Derrick Rose. Although I love Derrick Rose, um, I think that's a contract that they're trying to move, and teams are inquiring about his leadership, and because he still has some gas left in that tank. Don't be surprised if you guys hear that they move Derrick Rose and Carmelo Anthony get signed to a mid-level exception.
Right.
There's been, a couple of days ago, I didn't make a big deal about it. That's why I didn't want to come on here and announce it with you guys. But I'll share with a little bit of knowledge. Spoke about it before. Knicks management and Carmelo Anthony's management team had brunch, and Carmelo Anthony discharged his son from the school out in LA, and it looks like his days are done as a Los Angeles Laker. So look for them to shop to move either Derrick Rose or Taj Gibson, and to make room possibly for Carmelo Anthony. But I think the most important thing that they want to do is they want to figure out what's their team going to be looking like. We got some time to see the summer league to see if Quentin Grimes is ready to take that starting position, which we all agree. I know Nick Nation agrees that Quentin Grimes should be starting over Evan Fournier, but I know me and you said that there's 85 billion
Well,
reasons why.
I'm going to
Evan
recorrect
Fournier
myself on that. Yeah, I agree with you, Juby. Things I've been hearing lately, but since you mentioned Carmelo Anthony, there was a viewing of Carmelo Anthony and the owner of the Knicks in a restaurant as they were leaving the restaurant. Check this out.
Mr. Dolan, are you gonna get KD and Kyrie Irving for your team?
No, we don't want him.
I'm not sure what you said, but have a
James
good
Dolan.
night.
How about Carmelo?
Carmelo,
Say hello to him.
we love him. Now Melo leaves a few minutes later.
What's up, Melo? How you doing, man? Are you gonna go back to the Knicks? Are you gonna go back to the Knicks, Carmelo? What do you think about Luka Jokic getting the max super contract, breaking?
They deserve it.
He deserve it. Good seeing you, man.
Listen, guys,
There you go.
I love that guy. One of my favorite players of all time. Say what you want about the guy. Very humble. Is always mellow. That's why that's his brand. And I want to share something with you guys, Enric. I know I told you this yesterday as well. Carmelo just dropped his new sneakers. Guess what colors those sneakers at the bottom are?
You told me. Orange and blue.
So, skies are lining up.
Let me just say this, Juby, about Melo, okay? As we all love Melo, and Nick Nation loves Melo, I just want to say that Melo, if he does come here to New York, this is going to reduce the playing times to a Cam Reddish, to a Grimes. The development part, that's what I'm scared of. Because if Carmelo comes here, like I mentioned in my previous show, he doesn't want to play for 5-10 minutes. And then it gives Thibodeau that anxiety to play a veteran. We're going to go back to square one. Can the Knicks balance by having Melo and playing the youth at the same time? This is the question we need to answer. And I don't think Nick Nation wants to deal with something like that. As Melo lovers, do you want to risk the fact that the Knicks youth won't play by having Melo on the bench? Can you see Melo being on the bench? I can't see that, Juby.
I can because I've seen it in LA. I know we can't see it as Knicks fans, but I've seen it in LA. I've seen it in Portland. I've seen it in Houston since he's been gone, in OKC. OKC was a little bit different situation. He was actually starting. But, I've seen his minutes go from a 40-point to a 30 to a 27, now to about a 22-minute per game player. And I think, for me personally, I don't think it'll stop development. I think it's only actually going to benefit players like a Quentin Grimes, who can learn from a Carmelo Anthony, a Cam Reddish, who can learn from a Carmelo, and RJ Barrett, who can learn that step back jump shot, that the one that he does with his pivot foot that was so deadly. That's a repertoire that RJ Barrett needs to learn. And who other than to teach it than Carmelo Anthony? I think this is a move that is a win-win situation. And I think that if things start going spiraling down, you might see Carmelo Anthony with minutes reduced, but just to have him on the bench, being the elder, being the basically veteran on the team. We've had Taj Gibson for years, and respectfully, I love Taj Gibson, but I think it's time for Taj Gibson to maybe be an assistant if he doesn't want to play in the NBA anymore, a player development coach, if you will, on the team, and give one of those spots to somebody like Carmelo Anthony, who's having a last dance. And what better way than to have a last dance in here in NYC, where it was a memorable one just a few years back.
Yeah, Juby, I agree. But let's watch this video one more time. Let's try not to speak. Let's listen carefully what Dolan is trying to say. And does it surprise you that Dolan and Anthony are still close enough that they're still having dinner together? That's a little bit, but let's hear this one more time.
Excuse me. Mr. Dolan, are you going to get KD and Kyrie Irving for your team?
KD and Kyrie Irving.
I'm not sure what you said, but have a good night.
How about Carmelo?
Say hello to him.
What's up, Melo? How you doing, man? Are you going to go back to the Knicks? Are you going to go back to the Knicks, Carmelo?
He's not answering.
What do you think about Luka Jokic getting the max super contract, breaking?
They deserve it.
He deserve it?
So he answers the Jokic. I mean, the news that he's got the highest player in the NBA, the biggest contract, but he doesn't answer, are you going back to the Knicks? I think it's a hush-hush. Listen, Dolan has always been a big Melo guy, even when we traded so many players for him. So I think you may be correct, Juby, that there's something behind the scenes. I hope Leon Rose is involved, and it's something that Leon Rose approves of, because if he doesn't, and Dolan is going behind the back, kind of getting involved with these deals without the team knowing, it could be a problem, Juby.
It can, but remember, Knicks management already did that. They did that with Cam Reddish, who Tom Thibodeau didn't want. And look what that situation has brought us to. I honestly don't think, guys, and unless something happened that we don't know about, that's another player I don't see on this roster. Just because Tom Thibodeau is not a fan of him. He's our coach. Unless things changed, and maybe me personally, guys, my second unit would be Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, and Harstey. That's 100% my team. Or Evan Fournier will be in that rotation if he's still here. My starters are Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes needs to start.
You need a 100%. Defensive guy there. I agree.
You do.
I can't see Fournier sitting on the bench with that money he's making, but remember, you got Brunson there. Weakens the defense a little bit. He's not the greatest defender, but he plays defense. He plays tough. Fournier is just a liability defensively. So I can see them putting a Grimes and seeing Fournier being the sixth player to enter the game. As you see in the ticker below, that's the rumors. That's the possibilities, because you still need shooters off the bench. This guy broke John Stark's record. The guy can shoot. We still need shooters on this team. So why not bring them off the bench if we can't find suitors? But also that the suitors may be this team here, because there's a team out in Dallas. Mark Cuban is accusing the Knicks with tampering in the deal involving Brunson. So I think maybe we can give them what they're looking for. They say we tampered getting Brunson here. So I could understand him being upset. He should have signed them a year before. He didn't. He lowballed Brunson, and he didn't want it. He wanted to wait to free agency, and the Knicks gave him what he wanted, and he wanted to be in New York.
It's not even the money. It's not even the money, Zenray. Dallas apparently offered him $105 million for 5 years. Knicks contract is 4 years, 105. So yeah, it's a little bit more. 104, excuse me. But the thing is, it's the relationship aspect. It's the promise of it's being the starting point guard of a team. It's being the man. He wants to become an all-star. He's been tweeting out that he will be an all-star, that he will prove everybody wrong who's saying that he's not built, that he's a mediocre, decent player, but he's not worth the money. He's out on a mission, and I look for him to have a fantastic year. As far as Carmelo Anthony, like I said, it's not going to hurt. It helps us in the shooting, helps us with the player development. It can mess up the youngsters if Tom Thibodeau overplays him like he played Alex Burke. We definitely don't want that. And I think in order for us to bring Carmelo aboard, the Brunson deal has to be on the table. Because right now they just freed up some money with the Kemba Walker deal. It just became officially yesterday. So not everything is lined up, and I think they're trying to figure out if Dallas is going to do a sign and trade with them, or if they're going to just give him the 104, have nothing to do with Dallas. And that's what we're basically waiting for to find out, because we have one roster spot left, ladies and gentlemen. We just signed the kid that we drafted in the second round, Keels, to a two-way contract that puts us at 14 players. So we have one spot available. So in my opinion, that spot is for you know who. You heard the man Jim Dolan say, "We love him, we love him."
Okay. Hey, that's some great insight on your part. But I always want to get away from our Knicks a little bit and talk about Zion, the dream that we had of getting Zion next year. And look at him signing his big deal. And the gentleman that spoke so highly of him last week, who cursed this deal out, or who didn't speak very highly of him, he's smiling all the way to the bank, Zion.
I'm locked in, baby.
He's locked in. He getting those burgers.
Yeah, and watch this. Watch this. Someone is still not happy.
Signs for 5 years, $193 million, 5 years max contract, but everybody's sucking dick. Oh my God, Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas, CJ. Oh my God,
happy.
they're gonna be amazing. But nobody's saying that they overpaid for him.
Okay, we're not gonna hear the rest of that, but he's not happy that Zion is making all this money. The Knicks signed Brunson, and the Knicks Nation and Knicks people, the Knicks News, or whoever is reporting the negativity toward the Knicks, and it's been happening. Negativity, I guess, sells in the news, and the fact that Brunson is being here and being criticized for the big contract the Knicks gave him is ridiculous in my eyes. So, Juby, let me also talk about Grimes. He is the future of this team. I think eventually he can take over Fournier's spot completely. If we get rid of Fournier, I think Grimes can come right in. So I'm going to show a little video of Grimes having fun with someone talking about what's a perfect 10, and check this out.
She's a 10, but she doesn't like basketball.
A 0.
She is a 6, but she watches every NBA game.
A solid 8. 8.5. 8.5.
She's a 10, but she won't rebound for you.
I can find a 3. I can find somebody else.
She's a 6, but she's a Knicks fan.
A 10. Solid 10.
She's a 10, but she can't hit a free throw.
Yeah, she ain't got to be able to have a game. I'll probably give her a solid 7.
Having a little fun with our future young gun, Quentin Grimes. What do you think of Quentin Grimes? And I don't think if he didn't get injured last year, I think he would have put up better numbers. But he was having a great 10 games. He was coming off the bench. He had a high of 23 points. What do you think, Juby? What do you think of Grimes as an addition in the starting lineup for the Knicks, if possible?
I think Tom Thibodeau loves the kid. You saw him starting for a little bit of a break he's one of the first young guns that he played besides Quentin. Remember, Obi Toppin really wasn't getting any minutes, and then Quentin Grimes became the starting small forward, shooting guard. He was playing, and then he got hurt. The kid is great. He's a lockdown defender. He knows how to play defense with his hands and his feet and his brain. We saw him get a lot of steals, open up fast breaks. open up the offense. He can lock down guys. He can actually shoot the three. 100% the kid needs to be starting with R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and Brunson, and R.J., of course.
I
Those
agree.
guys have to be the starting lineup. And definitely Quentin Grimes is a big part of our future.
Oh, I totally agree. Also, I want to just talk about the free agency and how people are just now gauging from what Danny Ainge did in getting all these picks and assets for Rudy Gobert. So check this out. Durant now is people are asking not for 6th-round pick. They're going crazy because Rudy Gobert got so much. If Rudy Gobert was worth that, that means Kevin Durant is worth 6 first-round picks and 5 players. Watch this news report here, and they'll explain a little bit what's going on. And they'll mention a little bit about Donovan Mitchell, how his market has dried out because people are not going to be bullied by Danny Ainge by getting all these draft picks and assets that he's looking for in terms of players.
Stand right now with KD in a potential trade.
Yeah, when the Nets put him on the market, Dan, I think they thought there was going to be a tremendous bidding war. And while there's a lot of interest, from what I can tell, that bidding war isn't really hot right now. The teams have made their offers, and they don't really feel the need to increase them. Now, maybe we'll see a little bit of action coming out of Summer League. All of the executives are gathering in Las Vegas over the next few days, and there could be a restart in action there. But there's been a couple of things that have happened that have, even made it more complicated that involve the Utah Jazz. The Jazz make this trade with Rudy Gobert last week, where they get an incredible haul of draft picks, which the Nets respond by saying, well, now the price for Durant just went higher. And the rest of the league is kind of saying, we don't think so. We don't want to pay that price. We didn't like that trade. And then you look at Donovan Mitchell. After the Gobert trade, there was a belief that maybe Mitchell would be next, and maybe at some point he will be. But for now, the Jazz are telling people they don't intend to trade him. And on Mitchell's side, he's going to stand pat. He's not going to force any action right now. So without Mitchell in the market, the teams are not trying to outbid each other. It doesn't make sense for teams to sell their house to pay for a car, even if that car is a Lamborghini like Kevin Durant.
That's a good point. So checking, that trade that Minnesota did, wow, you gave up all those assets. It technically was 5 first-rounders in a sense and 4 players. So if he's worth that, what do you think Brooklyn's management is saying? That means Kevin Durant is worth 6, 7 first-rounders and 6 players. So this is the bidding war we have. And the Donovan Mitchell front that he brought up is very clear. Donovan Mitchell is staying in Utah. No one is gonna reach out and give this outlandish amount of picks and players, and that's why Leon Rose walked away from the deal that he put up, that he wanted, what he was willing to give up, and what Danny Ainge wanted was, out of the moon, out of the stars. It was like he was creating a new mansion for himself and his family.
Yeah, listen, I don't think none of those deals are gonna happen. I think Kevin Durant, for now, is going to stay in Brooklyn. As much as he requested a trade, I think he's staying in Brooklyn. And I think this guy is going to stay in Utah as well, Donovan Mitchell. Like you said, teams are not going to sit there and offer 6, 7, 8 draft picks. But what I think is going to happen at the end is Donovan Mitchell is going to request a trade. And once he goes public, eventually, it may not happen this year, it may be next year, depending on how things go out in Utah. When he gets unhappy and starts saying, I want to out, I want to trade, that's when it's going to get a little bit better. But I still think teams are going to sit there and say, you're not going to do to us what you did to Minnesota. And this is what we're going to offer. Either you take it or you leave it. And right now, everybody's leaving Kevin Durant alone. And the only team player I see moving out of Brooklyn possibly might be Kyrie, because the King James wants him out in LA. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Thanks, Juby. So basically, I just want to also put up Chet Holmgren, second overall pick. He put on a show, and check this out. Just check this out, what they're talking about Chet Holmgren. Oklahoma, they got a steal in getting him in the 2nd round. Watch this.
That boy real good, okay? And we're not talking about Randy Watson, all right? We're talking about the 7'3" wing player. I'm just curious to see how he's going to score. Now, some of these guys are going to be, taking out their Rosetta Stone and learning another language as they play ball overseas. A lot of these guys are not going to be NBA players. So good luck with your Portuguese guys. And this is a Jazz team that's arguably going to be one of the worst teams in the league. But I love the fact that he shot it well from deep. I love the three he took in transition. I liked when he backed down and buried a little fadeaway jump shot. But defensively, 6 blocks. That's what we saw at Gonzaga, Brandon. He blocked over 100 shots in his 1 year in Spokane.
Hey, we're playing
and the
Utah.
fact that he had that kind of
Worst team in
impact,
NBA, I think, gonna be.
that's Kofi Cockburn. Probably the most dominant big man last year in college basketball. Blocks his shot.
Donovan Mitchell is going to be playing for the worst team in the NBA. And I think you're right. Donovan Mitchell will be asking for a trade sometime in the middle of the year, sometime next year, because when that team is going to go bad. And Mitchell Robinson, so Donovan Mitchell is going to say, what am I doing here? I want out. I don't care where I have to go, but I want to leave Utah as soon as possible.
And I think that's what Leon Rose is basically waiting on. I think he knows that that's going to happen. He probably told Knicks management, his fellow partners, saying, guys, let's just wait. Let's work with what we have. Let's not give up the house. Let this guy demand his way out of there. There was a former player who might be coming back to us who demanded his way out of Denver. And you guys remember how that turned out when Carmelo Anthony came over here. He wanted to come to New York, forced his way to New York. So if Donovan Mitchell really wants to come to New York, it's only a matter of time before he says, Ainge, either you trade me or I'm going to make life difficult here. And then Ainge is probably going to say, Leon, listen, I know I wanted 5. Would you give me 3 number 1 draft picks? And, they'll work out the kinks. Who knows what it's going to be at that time.
Totally
Let's
agree.
stand pat. Let's run with the young guns, like you
I
said.
agree.
I love the video. I love the young kids. And I look forward to tomorrow. I'm going up against Golden State and us seeing Quentin Grimes quickly and Miles McBride show what he's really capable of, because I think that's why the Knicks are also looking to deal Derrick Rose, is because they want McBride to get some more burn.
That's right. The Young Guns. Juby, we're 28 minutes going into the show. I want to thank you for coming on. You're a trooper. And thank your wife and your family for giving you the opportunity to do this. I greatly appreciate it. Enjoy your time out there in the Jersey Shore with your family. And Juby, you take care of yourself. Much love to you and your family.
Peace, brother. Thank you, everybody at Saturday Sports TV. Have a great weekend. Go New York. Go New York. Go.
All right. There you go. That's Juby, the Tubi family above everything. I want to thank everyone that has been watching and giving you thumbs up and commenting. You guys are my band of brothers. Knick Nation, never give up, knowing that the best is yet to come. With love, peace, and gratitude. Zen Ray out.
I'll make you famous.
Dishing out. Barry, good shovel, and Sims flushes it down.
The Young Guns.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.
Yeah.